So parallel reasoning questions are very similar, but now what we're going to try to do is, instead of finding that answer choice that describes how the author is getting to the conclusion, we're going to find an answer choice that it talks about something different, but has the same kind of reasoning in it. So we have to match the reasoning and the argument structure. So these are a little bit more time consuming, and they make us go from what we applied in those first questions and take it to another level or the next step. Our approach is going to be very similar though, in the sense that we're going to read the stimulus and find our conclusion. We're going to understand our reasoning. So how did we get there? So everything stays the same. We'll read our question and understand our job. And then that's where we want to paraphrase that argument structure, which is what we did previously. So if I said that if you had apples, then you don't have bananas. You have bananas, therefore I don't have any apples. So if I said that argument, right, I said, if I have apples, then I don't have any bananas. I have bananas. So then my conclusion was, therefore, I don't have any apples. My conclusion is, therefore, I don't have any apples. And what I did to get there, if I was going to paraphrase it, is saying like, if I have something, I don't have that other thing. But since I have that other thing, therefore I can't have that first thing. I need to find an answer choice that matches that structure in my answers. So I want everybody to go ahead and write their own argument that would follow this structure. So how I said, if I have apples, then I don't have bananas. Since I have bananas, I must not have any apples.
I did, if I have a dog, then I don't have a cat. If I have a cat, then I don't have a dog.
Excellent. All right, can anybody come up with a different kind of argument structure? So a different one than what I just did. Okay, let's do, what about like, if you are trying to think, if you are from Ohio, then you are a Buckeye fan, and you live in the United States. I don't live in the United States, therefore I don't live in Ohio. Go ahead and come up with your own argument following that structure.
I started writing mine, so it was like, if you live in LA, then you live in California and in the western part of the US.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I guess I could say like, if I don't live in California, so then I don't live in LA.
Perfect. Yeah, excellent. So those are how these analogies are going to work. And then lastly, whenever we paraphrase a structure, it's a lot easier to get rid of wrong answer choices first. So if you see something that's not following exactly how we want it, we can cross that off. The trick is, though, our argument parts don't have to be in the exact same order. So it has to follow the same structure, but it doesn't mean that it has to be, for example, premise, then conclusion. It could give us our conclusion first and then give our two premises, but as long as it follows the same order, we're good. So in Emily's example, if this was the question, if she said, I don't live in LA as her conclusion, because if you live in LA, you have to live in California and live in the western part, and I don't live in California. So do we see how like they have every single part as my argument? It just goes in a different order, and that's okay.
And I did something just kind of really off the beaten path. And I said, if if you're pretty,
Okay.
you're in a beauty. If you're pretty, you're in a beauty pageant. And if let me see, and then you're the winner. I don't know. That's not
Okay,
making sense.
if you're pretty, you're in a beauty pageant and you're a winner. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you're not a winner, that's what I messed. And that's where I got stuck. If you're not a winner, you're not pretty.
Then what would we say? You're not what?
You're not pretty, and you're not
pretty. That's such a mean one, but yes, that follows that. Great job.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I had it. Okay.
So now, all right, I'm gonna actually switch this one out. All right, so go ahead and read this one and find our conclusion and go ahead and paraphrase what you think is the reasoning structure. So just how we would approach a typical reasoning question we want to do here. All right, go ahead and read this one and find your conclusion and predict your reasoning structure. All right, what is our conclusion, Emily?
So I said that it was after the therefore, so that,
yep.
Yeah, all of that before the because.
Yeah, a person being prevented from sleeping solely by such thoughts would be able to fall asleep by closing their eyes and counting sheep. I didn't know this about this is why they tell you to count sheep. I thought it was interesting. So what is our argument structure here, Sabrina?
It gives like, I guess like background introductory sentence at the beginning, like basically saying like the kind of thoughts that keep people from falling asleep, like the problem can be in either half of the brain.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the conclusion, and then the because is its like premise or evidence as to why they're prevented, and that counting sheep would solve this issue.
And how that's the part where we really want to get to this next level in our prediction. It's like the like not just that it's evidence, but how does that evidence work? So here we're saying that essentially that if you are if you can't fall asleep, so I'm gonna say fall asleep, no. If you can't fall asleep, you don't have to, I would not diagram this on the test. I'm just going to show you this just for learning purposes. That means that you either have thoughts in your left half of the brain or the right half of the brain, right? But we're saying that we can count sheep, which occupies the left and the right side of the brain. So if we count sheep, then we will be able to fall asleep. Do we see our arguing structure there? So bigger picture, we're saying like, hey, if you can't do this, you can do this other thing that's going to take away your two problems. Therefore, so you could do that first thing, would be my loose paraphrase if I was taking the test. Can anybody think of an analogy that would fit this structure of our argument? This is tougher. So everyone take a minute and try to come up with your own argument that would fit this exact structure. All right, did anybody come up with one?
I think I might have one.
All right, what did you have, Tia?
I said that eating a bag of Skittles can give you cavities. Therefore, in order to prevent cavities, you shouldn't eat Skittles because sugar residue out of your mouth doesn't break down your enamel, or some, elongated definition.
Okay, so So I didn't, so is your conclusion the Skittle one?
Yeah, like in order to prevent cavities, you shouldn't eat Skittles, I guess. I don't know. I said that if you eat Skittles, then it'll cause you to have cavities. Therefore, in order to prevent having cavities, you should. Oh, wait. I think I did that wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
I'm not following.
Did anybody else have a different one?
Can I try?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Julian.
Okay, I put if you're overweight, then you have high cholesterol or a thyroid problem.
So overweight. So if you're overweight, you have. Can you say it again? You
have high cholesterol or a thyroid problem.
okay?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. If you take a certain medicine, I don't know.
Medicine.
Then it will prevent high cholesterol and prevent a thyroid problem.
Excellent.
So if you take this medicine, then it'll keep you from being overweight.
That is so close.
Okay.
The only issue with it is that you, like, for our purposes, it's great. I think on the test, it would potentially be wrong because our conclusion is that we are preventing something where yours, actually, you're preventing being overweight. So falling asleep. We go from not having something to having something to having something to having something, where yours says the opposite. But I think that it's super close. The one that I came up with was if I'm not happy, then it rained or it snowed. And then my stimulus was good weather. If there's good weather, that means that there's not rain and there's not snow. And then I went to good weather makes me happy. Which this one was hard to diagram because like not falling asleep, like that means you have thoughts. So I guess like counting sheep makes you not have thoughts. So that's where that would have been. Does that make sense? All right.
I messed up because I didn't have the two. Like I didn't have. Yeah. Okay.
We have to have that in if there are two, however many variables there are. So we have to have that many things in our answer choices as well. That's a common reason why answers are wrong.
Okay.
All right. So now that we have our structure here, let's go ahead and look at some of these answers. Go ahead and put what answer you think in the chat.
Many variables.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. So like if we said like if we have A and B, then we don't have C. We can't, our answer choice can't have like just if we have A, we don't have C. That would be too simple. We would need to have two things.
Okay. Can you make that larger, please?
I can definitely try.
Oh, okay.
All right, how do people feel about this question? All right, so we're looking for that structure, right? And so our structure was essentially like we have this thing that has these two potential problems. If we can take away those two potential problems, then we won't have that thing. Do we all agree that that was our structure? All right, so let's start with E. So E says this island has two harbors, but one of them is too shallow to permit large ships. So the ship will have to dock at the other harbor. That's not what we do, right? We don't say like, okay, so there's two options. If you don't have the one, so then you have to go to the other. That's not our structure, right? If that were, that would be like saying, I guess we could change our argument to say problems of the brain can happen, or sleeping problems can be from the right or left side of the brain. Our problems are not from the right side of the brain, so they must be from the left side of the brain. That would be that structure. All right, so D says that these chemicals are harmless by themselves, but explosives will mix together. So in order to be kept in the same lab without risk, they should be stored separately. Did anybody like D? No. Okay, so can anybody come up with let's think of what would be a parallel argument structure to D? All right, does anybody have one? Anna, do you have one?
Let me try.
Does anybody have one? Sabrina, do you have one?
With the like solution not be to like the solution couldn't be to do them like put them away separately, because like in our stimulus or whatever, like it has to do with like the
Oh, right,
problem.
not why this is wrong.
Oh,
You have sorry, this is great. Sorry, the goal of this exercise is as we're going, I would not do this on the test, but I'm having us come up with similar parallel arguments for each of these answer choices to us to practice what this looks like and thinking about it. So can you come up with a parallel argument to D? Not right.
like my own completely?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Chemicals are harmless, but like I don't know, like Jack and Ben don't like each other and get in fights constantly when they hang out together.
Okay, so what if Jack and Ben are both great kids when they're separate?
Yeah.
Whenever a teacher puts them together in class, it's a disaster. Therefore, Jack and Ben should not sit next to each other in class.
Yeah.
That's the same structure. Excellent.
Perfect.
All right. C says, and does that make sense what this exercise is? Maybe I should have been more clear of what we're trying. And it's just for us to really get comfortable with argument structure so that we can go faster on the test. C says, this map indicates two roads of equal length, each leading to C. So a person who wants to take the shortest route to C could choose either one. All right, let's go ahead and come up with an analogy argument to that one. All right, what did you have, Tia?
I knew you were calling me and I have nothing. I literally wrote something out and I scribbled it.
All right, Taylor, do you have one?
No, these are like so confusing to me.
All right, is talking about this helping you all see it though? I want to make sure this is helpful.
Yeah.
At least that we're talking about it.
No, it's definitely
Okay,
helpful.
Julian, do you have one?
I think I mixed up the ors and ands wrong. I don't know. I originally put vegetables or fruits leads to good health. Or would it be and? I don't know.
No, this is great. Vegetables or fruit can get us to good health. So what?
Yeah.
So then what could be our conclusion?
So you can choose either one?
Yeah, and have good health. That was great, Jillian.
Okay, cool.
Mine was Match.com indicates that I could marry Tony or Bob and be happy. Therefore, I could marry either one and be happy. That would be the same argument structure. Fabulous. All right. And then A was also wrong. And this one says S is a poor insulator, but brick and wood are good. So a person who wants to build a house in an area with a cold climate should use brick and wood instead of S. So let's come up with an analogy or a parallel argument to that one. All right, do you have one, Ahmed?
This is tough.
So let's break it down. We need to say that something is bad and two things are good. So what are going to be our variables here? Did anybody come up with our 3 variables? All right, Anna, what is our bad variable?
So I said mint ice cream sucks,
Okay.
but vanilla and chocolate are good flavors.
All right,
So
so let's go ahead and stop there for 1 second. I'm sure you have it. So then we have that, which is perfect. So now we want to get to this part. So a person who wants to build an area with a cold climate, what could we say there, but in relation to ice cream? Let's think, everyone think about this. So we're saying mint, ice cream sucks, vanilla or chocolate is good. All right, what do you have? What do you think, Tia?
So if you want to be a person with good taste, like if you want to have good taste in food.
Yeah, if you want to have good taste.
Okay.
Or if you want to have good ice cream, yeah. All right, and then what would be our conclusion then? So think about this. So we should have brick or wood instead of S. So Ahmed, let's go back to you. What would we say then about ice cream? So if you want to have good taste, you should what?
You should try out something different.
Oh, but we have to go back to our variables.
Oh.
So remember,
What was I didn't remember what she said. That's why I said it.
you're okay. So we said mint ice cream sucks, vanilla or chocolate flavors are good. So if you want to have good taste, what do we need to say about these variables to follow A's argument structure?
You should use vanilla or what was the other one?
Chocolate.
Oh, chocolate ice cream instead of milk.
Yes, excellent. So do we all see how that worked?
Yeah.
Excellent job, Anna and Ahmed. All right, so now
I actually had another one, but the one.
Oh, what was yours?
I said 7 Sage sucks, I guess. But if you let's see. But if you want to have a good LSAT score, you should use Real Grit or LSAT Demon.
Oh, okay, yes. So yes, so 7 Sage sucks, but RGC and LSAT Demon are good.
Yeah. And
If you
then
want to have a good LSAT score, perfect.
Yeah, you should use RCG and or 7 Sage or LSAT Demon instead of 7 Sage.
That was perfect. Great job.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so let's clear this. I had never had, when I was studying, I never had someone show me how to do this. And it would have helped me immensely if someone would have let me like use my own thoughts to come up with these answer choices, because they all just look the same to me because I never actually dove into each answer choice of like, what is this actually trying to do? And how can I actually take this and put it into my own words so I understand what's being said? Does anybody ever feel like these arguments all look the same? And so if I were going to miss some of these questions on my wrong answer journal, whatever questions you miss, especially if you're only missing 2 or 3, go through each answer choice and come up with an argument on your own so you specifically see where you went wrong compared to the correct answer for extra practice.